Ever tried recording fire on your phone and ended up with a bright, washed-out mess? It happens more often than you think. Flames are beautiful in person, the flicker, the color shifts, but when you record them on most smartphones, something always goes wrong. Either the video turns out way too bright, or the flame looks flat and blurry. Huawei says it has finally fixed that problem with its upcoming Pura 80 series. Now, this isn't just a random claim. Richard Yu, who's the chairman of Huawei's consumer business, shared a quick demo that gives us a glimpse of what this phone can really do when it comes to difficult video scenes. And when we say difficult, we're talking about fire, one of the hardest things to record properly on a phone. The issue with fire is that it constantly changes color depending on the heat. It's also semi-transparent, which makes it hard for most cameras to lock in the right settings. On top of that, the light around fire flickers and causes reflections, which can ruin nearby details in a video. In most cases, if you try to shoot fire at night or in low light, you'd have to manually adjust the settings on your camera, like lowering the brightness or locking the exposure, just to get something watchable. But in the Huawei Pura 80 demo, none of that was necessary. Clip shows that the Pura 80 captures the flame in full detail, without overexposing the shot. You can see the layers of the flame, the natural shifts in color, and the light doesn't spill over or ruin the surrounding area. It's not just about good video. It's about saving you time and effort. You just take out the phone, press, record, and the video looks great. That's the kind of user experience a lot of people actually want. Not everyone wants to spend time playing with camera settings or switching modes. People want results, and Huawei seems to be aiming for that with this new phone. Now, while Huawei didn't go into camera specs in this teaser, it did show that the Pura 80 is aiming to become a top choice for casual video shooting, especially in challenging conditions. There were also some design hints in the clip. While we couldn't fully see the back of the phone, mostly due to subtitles and hand movements, online users in China believe it was the Pro or Pro Plus version. The rose-red color used in the video is a strong sign, since that's usually seen on Huawei's higher-end models. The phone seems to have a big screen, a sleek metal frame, and smooth curves on the edges. Nothing too flashy, but definitely a premium build. The full design hasn't been officially shown yet, but that might change soon. So, what does this all mean? Huawei is clearly putting its focus on real performance. The Pura 80 isn't just about numbers or sensor sizes. It's about giving people a phone that makes video recording simple, clean, and reliable, even in tough situations like fire, fireworks, or nightlife scenes. If you often record videos for social media, or you just want a phone that doesn't need constant setting adjustments, the Pura 80 might actually surprise you. We'll keep an eye out for the full reveal, but for now, it's safe to say Huawei is getting serious about video. If this video helped you out or gave you something to think about, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want more updates like this in simple language, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.
What happens when a phone looks amazing on the outside, but the price tag makes everyone hesitate? That's exactly what's happening with Samsung's new Galaxy S25 Edge. At first glance, it had everything people wanted: sleek design, top specs, and the promise of something fresh in a market full of boring upgrades. But now, as more details are coming out, many are wondering if this phone is really worth it. For a while now, big brands like Samsung and Apple have mostly played it safe. Each year, their phones get a bit faster, the cameras improve slightly, and the screens get brighter. But nothing has really stood out. Most of the bold changes, especially in design and camera tech, have been coming from Chinese companies like Vivo and Xiaomi. The problem is, those phones are often hard to find outside Asia. So, when Samsung teased a super thin phone, the S25 Edge, many thought it was finally time for something different. The Galaxy S25 Edge was introduced as a thinner and lighter version of the regular S25 Plus. It has a 6.66-inch AMOLED screen with a refresh rate of 120 Hz, powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. There's 12 gigabytes of RAM and up to 512 gigabytes of storage. The phone is made with a titanium frame. It's just 6.4 millimeters thick and weighs only 162 grams. Basically, it looked like Samsung had created a phone that was both powerful and stylish. It also packs a strong camera setup. The main camera has 200 megapixels with optical image stabilization. There's also a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera and a 10 megapixel front-facing camera. The battery is smaller though, at 3,900 mAh and supports 25-watt charging. That's less battery than the S25 Plus, but many users were willing to accept that trade-off in exchange for the lighter, slimmer body. Everything sounded good until the price leaked. In countries like Italy, the 256GB version is showing up at around 1,360 euros, which converts to about 1,100 US dollars. That's around $100 more than the S25 Plus, even though the Edge has a smaller battery and one less camera. And suddenly, the excitement started to fade. People expected something priced reasonably, especially since the thinner body means a few compromises. But Samsung seems to be betting that thinness alone is worth the extra money. That's where the real problem starts. Most users are happy to pay more for useful upgrades, better battery life, extra cameras, or new features. But paying more for a phone that actually has less in some areas doesn't sit well with most buyers. On the other side, Apple might be making a smarter move. Their upcoming iPhone 17 Air is expected to cost around $900. It won't have all the bells and whistles of the Pro Max, but it might include features like a 120Hz display and a new battery design that lasts longer and charges faster. Apple seems to understand that for a thin phone to succeed, it needs to be affordable enough to make sense. There's also the bigger picture. Tech companies are facing rising costs around the world due to tariffs and supply chain issues, so pricing matters more than ever. Right now, Apple seems to have the better plan, cutting down on features a little but keeping the price at a point where buyers still feel like they're getting value. It's clear the Galaxy S25 Edge isn't a bad phone. It has a lot going for it. Sharp display, powerful processor, premium materials, and solid cameras. But none of that matters if the price pushes people away. It's not just about making a good phone. It's about making one that feels like a good deal. Samsung still has time to adjust the price before launch. If they don't, they risk turning the S25 Edge into an example of how even a great-looking device can fall short if it feels overpriced. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more updates on the latest smartphones. Samsung is stepping up its game in the mid-range smartphone market with the introduction of the Galaxy A36 and A56. These new models bring several upgrades, particularly in the camera department. One of the biggest highlights is that they are the first Samsung mid-range phones to support 10-bit HDR video recording, a feature previously exclusive to flagship devices. This means users can now capture videos with richer colors and a wider dynamic range, making them look more professional. The front camera on both phones features a 12-megapixel sensor with an f2.0 aperture, allowing more light to enter the lens. This improves low-light photography and enhances selfie quality. The most notable change is that these front cameras now support 4K video recording at 30 frames per second in 10-bit HDR, a significant step up from the previous Galaxy A35 and A55 models, which were limited to 8-bit recording. This upgrade results in better detail, improved color accuracy, and an overall smoother video experience. On the back, both the Galaxy A36 and A56 come with a 50-megapixel primary camera equipped with optical image stabilization, OIS, and phase detection autofocus, PDF. These features help reduce motion blur and ensure sharper images even in unsteady hands. The A36 includes an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, while the A56 offers a slightly better 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens, giving users more flexibility when capturing wide-angle shots. Both models also come with a 5-megapixel macro camera, which is useful for close-up shots, though some users might prefer a zoom lens instead. Samsung is clearly aiming to bring premium features to its mid-range lineup, but one feature is still missing: 4K video recording at 60 frames per second. While the current video quality is a major improvement, adding this capability in future models could help Samsung compete even more effectively with brands like OnePlus and Motorola. However, not all changes may be welcomed by users. One significant difference in these new models is the removal of the microSD card slot. This means storage expansion is no longer an option and users must rely solely on the built-in storage. The Galaxy